So what, we watch anime. So what, we play League. We're just having fun. We don't care who sees. So what, we stay in. It don't bother me. Living young, pale, and nerdy.
Hello and welcome to the Reetin Entertainment Podcast episode. What episode is it? It is episode I
Do you want to try again?
No.
Take two?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Episode 339. Okay.
Are
yeah,
you
let's
sure
restart.
you don't want to? Okay.
Can't even read a number.
So the problem was
B-roll.
I was on the wrong podcast. I was looking at the Clinton's Core Classics and I'm like, that's weird. I don't remember naming one The Writing on the Wall.
So what? We fight rune lords.
Anyway,
So what? We roll dice.
I'm not cutting this. So
Yeah, whatever.
Keep it in the back.
yeah. Hello and welcome to the Reetin Entertainment Podcast, episode 339 for February 27th, 2022. My name is Nathan Reetin Spruce. Joining me this week, we have Andrew Rowe McFain.
Hey, you can read the date on every monitor now. Isn't it great?
But what?
In Windows 11.
I don't.
The last update added the time back to all your external or secondary and tertiary and quaternary monitors.
Will they potentially make it so I can move my fucking bar, my task bar? No?
No.
Never.
It
But
is stuck at the bottom forever.
Well, no, not even that. It's stuck on your main monitor. You can't move it between your monitors.
Why would it? It's on all my monitors.
No, I only put it on one monitor. I limited
Why
it
don't
to
you
one
just
monitor.
You're just a
set that
weirdo.
monitor to your primary monitor then.
Well, yeah, but
Like,
then
your problem, Nathan, is a problem that has a solution. Rose does not.
no, it does. No, it does not, because a lot of games decide to run only on your primary monitor.
This is a weird energy to start a podcast with. Are you sure you don't want to try again?
Just do Windows Shift arrow key and that moves it.
Yeah.
I know how to do it, but not all games work like that.
Yeah.
Hashtag not all games.
Hashtag
every game
not all
works
games.
like that because every game supports windowless borderless window.
Right. So, as you can tell, we're also joined by Connor, the Cyberpunk Monk Besh.
Are you sure you don't want to try again?
Yeah.
No, it's going on too long now.
We're too far in the hole.
I'm hungry. I don't want to slow it down anymore.
Okay, so Aroa, of course, I'm your host, Nathan Reetin Spruce, and Aroa, my question to you, where can we find you?
Of course, you can go to Aroa.website. There's another link on there. I know you were trying to get me to talk about it last week, but I refused to. But yeah, you can join my version of the Trump Truth website, whatever the hell it's called. It's Mastodon.
Instance.
I have a Mastodon instance on there. I got some random fuck. It sent me a request for an account, and I'm going to deny it because their reason for wanting an account is to grow your network. And it's okay.
To grow your network? That's it?
Yeah, you just want to fucking post spam on my fucking Mastodon instance. Get the fuck out.
I see. Well, that's good. I just want you to, because it's a GeoCities account, basically.
Well, the main website, is NeoCities.
So you should just start posting random, like, Flash videos. Take all of your YouTube content and make them into Flash videos. And post them on there.
Yeah, I'll do that. Except no one will be able to see them because Flash isn't in browsers.
That's true. It died. I forgot about that.
Oh wait, no. I'll just I'll find out what that Flash emulator that Newgrounds uses is, because they use a JavaScript based Flash emulator.
Yeah.
That'd be
I
great.
think it's literally just JS to Flash.
Yeah. Anyway, Connor, we can find you a road.website.
Yeah.
And anything you wanna bring up, especially that might have random names for the podcast, like
They're not random names. You just have to listen to the episode, you jerk. Listen to Clinton Score Classics.
Tools of the trade.
Yes, when we are finding out the tools we need to defeat the Rune Lords. You know, we needed those enchanted weapons, the specific ones.
Yeah. Those
Do
ones.
they have runes? They got runes on them.
Runes.
They got runes.
They got runes on them.
They got runes to kill the rune lords.
Yes.
Exactly. Anyway, and of course I'm Nathan Reetin Sprith. You can find me everywhere at Reetin. So Reetin on Twitch, Reetin on YouTube, Reetin on Twitter. I stream on Twitch 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific time to 9 p.m. Pacific time. So if you're ever bored, you can go to twitch.tv/Reetin. This podcast is everywhere at Reetin Podcast. So if you're listening online or you found us on Spotify and you're like, man, Spotify is a piece of shit, I want to move over somewhere else, you can also listen to us on iTunes or Amazon or Google Podcasts, I guess, which still exists for some reason.
Is it?
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
Probably.
podcasts don't cost Google anything, so it makes sense for them to leave that service alive.
Yeah, I thought they killed it, kind of, but
They killed Google Play Music because they had to pay licensing fees for that shit.
Yeah.
They don't got to pay licensing fees for people to just upload their podcasts.
That's true. That's true. With their pirated music.
Yeah.
I
know that's a problem on Spotify, at least.
I'm sure it is. Anyway, we'll move on and ask Connor. Connor, what games have you played this week?
Last week I mentioned I was on the home stretch at Breath of the Wild, and this week I beat Breath of the Wild.
Congrats.
Almost 100%. I didn't get all of the Korok seeds because there's like 900 of them, and I have like 600 of them. So I feel like I could do it, but I'm ready to move on at this point. I got my end game uniform. I doubt that there's anything that'll like. If you played Breath of the Wild, your Breath of the Wild 2 save will have all your stuff, but I feel like I got just about everything I could have got.
I think that after you get like 600 or 700 Korok seeds, they stop doing anything.
Correct. Yeah, once your inventory is maxed out, it's purely congrats, you did it kind of thing.
Yeah, here's a golden poop.
Yeah, here's some shiny poop.
Yeah.
So after I was done with that, I started playing Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster because that just came out, and I love Final Fantasy VI.
And how is it? Can you suplex a train correctly?
I haven't gotten that far, but I have it on good word that you can suplex the train and it does get flipped upside down as intended.
Yep.
Good. They changed it.
It would be a travesty if they didn't fix that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is
there
funny
are
that
some,
you can do that.
There are some funny parts of it that I've noticed. For example, you know when you're walking in and it's just a big excuse to show off, what is it, Mode 7 on the Super Nintendo?
Yeah. Yeah, Mode 7.
It's when they would show the credits, except they don't show the credits now. So it's just them walking for like 2 minutes straight.
Oh.
And the music's great, but it's a little bit of empty space on the map, you know?
Yeah, they're not like, it was created by this person. Nope, just, hey, that's
They don't work here anymore.
Yeah.
Right. And that might actually be why they didn't have to go through the effort of updating the credits. This game was modernized by like 4 people.
They're like, and the person who ported it over to PC, Connor.
It was me. That was my night job.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I would be happy if that was your night job.
Port runs fine. This gave me an excuse to find out how to program a turbo button on Steam. It wasn't hard at all. I just had no idea where to start, and basically I threw stuff at the machine until the controller interface until it worked. Turns out the button that says turbo is the turbo button. Who knew?
Yeah, you figured it out.
I did it all by myself. Gold star.
Congratulations.
So then I sat in a raft while auto battle triggered, and A was pressed a whole bunch on my behalf, and I did some painting for like 2 hours, and now I'm super high level. So the rest of the game's gonna be a breeze.
Did you beat Ultros?
I'm actually you know when you go into that cave and you save right before then, I'm right there.
There was somebody I knew playing Final Fantasy VI who was very bad at video games. And this was recently, like in the last 3 or 4 years. So not the game wasn't new at the time. Here's what I'm
Right.
saying. And they were playing through and they failed the opera scene.
Oh no.
And then they failed, like, after you do the opera scene, you've got to go and, like, go through some battles and click some switches and then go fight Ultros again. And you're on a time limit. I have never seen anybody fail that, but this person did. This person also played Kirby, and they thought that the way you kill enemies with Kirby was to run into them, because when you ran into enemies, they would disappear.
The brute force solution.
So the person was not very good at older video games. Let's just say
I
that.
don't get it. How are you supposed to beat Sonic every time you jump on stuff? You'd lose all the rings.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to get past these spikes if I'm supposed to use the rings to get past them?
Yeah. So, anyway, good game. I like it. I haven't played. I bought the Pixel remaster of Final Fantasy VI, but I haven't played it. So I'll probably play it here at some point. Did you play
I've never
anything
played
else?
Final Fantasy 3.
Well, that's
Other than Breath of the Wild and other than Final Fantasy VI, I guess I played Space Station 13. That's always a fun time. I recommend it to anyone who's willing to. It's hard to describe. I don't think it's a game that you get unless you spend time with it.
yeah, because I didn't get it, and I did spend time with it, like an hour. But it definitely requires more than an hour to figure out all the complexities of the game.
Seeing as a shift is an hour and a half, yes, I would say it would require at least one full shift to get it.
Yes.
But
Well,
you tried your
yeah.
best.
Yeah. It was. We both kind of went in blind, and neither of us did good on the first round or two that we played.
It's definitely not about doing good either. It's a game about learning.
Yeah. Well, we played, because when we played, we did one that was normal, and we're like just running around not knowing what to do. And then the second one, we came in partway through, and it was already being attacked by a giant alien.
Yeah, I don't think oh god, the alien invasion is here is a very good introductory zone for people.
Yeah.
And I mean, what could you do? It's space. It's gonna be chaotic.
And then I think the only other time I remember, I don't know if I was playing with you or if I was watching you on Twitch.
You were watching
But
me on Twitch. I think you're talking about when I was a miscreant and I had to steal the pods.
no, the cultists who were murdering everyone. There were just cultists
You're gonna
running
have to
around.
be more specific. That happens quite a bit actually.
Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to Aroa. Aroa, what games did you play this week?
I mean, mainly I did a bunch of the demos that have been on the Steam, whatever the hell it is. You
You got
know?
a bunch of demos from Pizza Hut and put them in your PlayStation. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Played
Steam
Cool Borders.
Next Fest. That's it. Next Fest.
Well, we're not gonna go through all the demos that you liked, or all
We
the
couldn't
demos that you played.
anyway, because I don't remember most of them.
Well, what I was going to ask was, which one stood out to you the most?
There was a really good VR game. Well, yeah, it's like really good. It's like I've seen other VR games do this, where the whole thing is shoot the rope at a thing and you swing like you're Spider-Man. But like most of the games that I've played that are like that feel like shit. Either like you're way too heavy, or like you have just zero control over anything, or like you touch a wall and you lose all your momentum and it just kills it. This game did not do that, and that was pretty good.
Good.
I I wish I could tell you what the name of it was, but I already uninstalled it. Like most of the
No.
demos that I played this week, I just played them for a little while, and then I went, yeah, okay,
Any
and
other
deleted
any other demos that stood out to you?
them. Not in a positive way. Most of
Uh,
them were pretty bad.
what
Oh
was the
no.
worst one that you played?
It was this shitty fucking survival horror called like Dark Knot. I think it was it.
Uh-huh.
Um, it so it starts out and it's first person, and I'm like, okay, and it plays like Amnesia / Penumbra. Um, so like everything has physics. You have to like click and drag to open doors and drawers and like carry things around. They did the machine for pigs version though, where you don't have an inventory. So you have to like if you find a key, you have to pick up the key and carry it over to the lock and put it in the lock. Uh and I hate that. But um
It sure does
and
induce anxiety well, though.
yeah, like that part was actually pretty cool because it was like, oh, it could be monsters. You don't want monsters to be around. Ooh, spooky stuff's happening in the corner of the room, and like that was cool. And then I walked out the door of the first puzzle room, which the door was literally Silent Hill 4, the room door.
Yeah,
Which I was
yeah.
like, okay, whatever. Like that used to be a cute thing, and now I'm just kind of sick of seeing it in indie horror games. But
Yep.
you walk out that door and now it's suddenly like bad Silent Hill. You're a third person. You can like punch and like there are these plant monsters that take like 2 hits to kill. And I walked down this hallway and I saw this weird bug thing eating a corpse. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I'm gonna hit it with this pipe weapon that I got. And I walk over to it and it grabs me and kills me in 2 seconds and my body flies across the room.
Good.
Just like in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did that a couple of times and then I went, wow, this game sucks, and then I deleted it.
Good. Well, I'm happy that you did absolutely nothing of value this week.
Yeah, I mean, eh, there are some other VR things that I'm going to try out. One of them is it's a very blatant Phasmophobia ripoff. There's also a political strategy game called I Am Your President. I'm kind of interested in,
Oh, good.
and a god game called Fata Deum that I'm really hoping is going to be cool because I feel like that's a genre that's been very much neglected since like the early 2000s. Like Black and White 2 came out and then no one else has bothered making a good god game since then.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can't play the original. Well, I'm sure you can find ways, but it is very difficult to play Black and White, the original one,
Yes.
on modern computers.
Yeah.
And they don't have a GOG release, shockingly enough. So just
Hope you like using virtual machines to play your games.
pretty much because it won't run on anything like past XP for some reason. Anyway, we're going to move on to me, the host, Nathan Reetin, the one who doesn't fuck up at the beginning of these podcasts. That guy.
I don't
One
know
who can
about
tell the
that.
difference between 9 and 6.
I can't do that. No, I have played some games this week. I decided to load up my PlayStation 5 and play some PlayStation 4 games. I played, because it is included, I actually bought a year of the PlayStation Plus. Because when I got my PS5, if you have PlayStation Plus, you get like the 30 PlayStation 4 games included.
Oh,
Plus, you can, huh?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
They're like,
So
hey, we know we're not going to have a lot of games on this for a while, so here you go.
yeah, it's, and they're not like bad game. Like I'll talk about one of the games, but for the PlayStation Plus free game this week or this month, was UFC 4 for the PlayStation 4. So I played that.
I thought it was
'Cause
weird that you were playing a UFC game.
I also did.
I don't like watching UFC. However, I like playing those games. I think they're fun. Although I played the original, there was a UFC game released on the original PlayStation, and that is really bad. In case
UFC existed back then?
yeah,
UFC's been around
UFC
since like 1999.
99, 98, 99, something like. I think it was. Yeah, it was 98, 99 because I remember Ken Shamrock was really big in UFC, and that was like in 99. Anyway, so I played that, and I have to say, the first few fights are when you're playing through the story mode, because I didn't play any of the online stuff. I'm not gonna play against people who know how to play the fucking game, so I just played through the story mode, played it on normal difficulty, and normal difficulty, if you are somewhat competent as a gamer, is way too fucking easy. There becomes a point about, I don't know, 10 fights in that, or even less than that, that you're just knocking people out in the first round every time. And it got to the point where I knocked somebody out in like 25 seconds.
But my power creep.
Yeah, and so you get way too powerful, way too fast, and there's like no challenge, even when you're defending the title. But for what it was, I had a fun time, and I wouldn't pay $60 for it, but being included with PlayStation Plus, it was fine. It was a fine time. I then went and I looked at Game Pass, another one of my subscriptions. Please save me from myself. I looked at Game Pass, and there was another game called Roboquest, and I played that, and it is a first-person shooter where you're running through you're basically just running through a roguelike area. You run through, kill other robots, get to a boss, kill the boss robot, and then your time ends and you're given rewards for it. You can also do co-op. I have not done the co-op. It's fun. It's well made. The shooting feels good. Killing robots feels good. I liked it. I had fun. If you guys have Game Pass, I would recommend just downloading RoboQuest and give it a whirl. It's fun. And the last game I played was another game that was included with my PlayStation 5. And the whole reason I booted up my PlayStation 5 was because like a week ago, my friend Durgo said, "Oh, hey, they're doing a sale for PlayStation 4 and 5 games." And I was like, "Oh man, Miles Morales, the Spider-Man sequel, is on sale." And I loaded it up, and I had waited too long. And so it's not on sale anymore, and I'm not paying $50 for a 7-hour game. Just not happening. So I looked through my catalog of games, and I decided to play some God of War. The one that released in, was it 2016 now? Was it 2016?
Recently.
Yeah,
I think it was 2016, yeah.
20, we're getting old. That's what it is. But it released, a few years ago. Still a really good game. They have it updated for the PlayStation 5, where you can have kind of not an unlocked frame rate, but instead of running at 30, which it did on the PS4, they have it to being able to run at 60 with checkerboard or whatever for 4K. I guess the original version with the unpatched God of War that's on the disc actually has an uncapped frame rate. But because of how wonky it was, they released another patch that capped it at 30. So they've unlocked that with the PS5 coming out. They made it so that you can choose between a couple different modes, either the locked 30 frames or you can do 60 frames with 4K checkerboard. And it's good. If you guys haven't played God of War, buy a PS5, I guess, and then you can play God.
You just play it on PC.
Or you could just play it on PC, I guess. Whatever.
Now I was talking to Mr. Reetin here while he was streaming, and I got a pretty I think it's a pretty good idea. I just am not the one to go through the hard work of doing it. This game has hardcore Alexander and Worf vibes. I want to see somebody do a mod that replaces Kratos with Worf and Atreus, whatever his name is, with Alexander. And then anytime he says like, I don't know, a god or something like that, I want it to be just a poorly dubbed over Klingon.
or like when he yells Atreus, he'll be like, Alexander.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't think it would take much work. You skin the weapon as a batleth or something like that. I'm sure somebody's already done the hard work, and you just gotta like match it up, you know. But I've already seen people do crazy stuff on the PC version of God of War, so I know it's possible.
That would be fun. That would be really fun. But it's okay. I kind of hate the kid. I always hate the kid. But I guess somebody was in there and was like, "Oh, you haven't played this yet." Once you find out who the kid is, it's actually really sad or something like that. I'm like, I don't
No,
care.
it's not.
It's not. What is it? I don't care about spoilers. The game's like 6 years old.
Oh, I'm just saying it's not. It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
If the kid's annoying, I don't care who the kid is. I still want to cut his head off.
I see. Yeah, I've thrown the axe at the kid and it doesn't do anything.
You do that a lot, actually. I gotta say.
I'm like, maybe this time. Nope.
They're talking, and I can't move forward until they're done with their conversation. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
It's a good mechanic. I like it.
Does your girlfriend know that you have such violent tendencies towards children?
Yeah, it's fine. It's all right. We're gonna move on, and we're gonna talk about some news stories. First things first. I'm
the realist.
With this.
No one's gonna get that reference in like 10 years.
I don't get that reference now.
Well, that's because all you listen to is ska.
That's true. That is the main source of music that I listened to.
He tried to listen to something else, but he couldn't quite pick it up.
So anyway, good news this week before we go into everything that's bad. Epic Games is doing something good. The headline is from TechSpot. Epic Games will offer full employment to hundreds of temporary QA workers, which we've spoken about on the podcast. Is QA workers work harder than probably anybody else when making video games. And not only that, but they also get treated the poorest. Most of them, what the fuck is happening? Sorry, there's a cat just freaking out for some reason. Anyway, most of them are temporary workers, while some of the QA workers are actually made full-time. And thankfully, they're turning most of their QA workers into actual staff. In brief, good news if you happen to be a temporary worker or temporary tester for Epic Games, the company will soon offer full-time employment along with all associated benefits to a few hundred of its contract-based staff in the United States. According to an employee-facing memo obtained by The Verge, Epic Games will offer full-time at-will employment to eligible U.S.-based contingent workers, and many of those offers will be effective as of April 4th, 2022. Going down to the bottom, it does say Epic isn't turning all of its temp workers into full-time staff. There will be some exceptions where the current employment arrangement is more suitable for both parties, and it will still hire contingent workers on short-term needs. So when I worked at Sony, they had not worked for Sony. I worked at Sony because I was a contingent worker. But all the QA guys would have the same basic story that they would tell me, is that as a contract worker, you could only work for 2 years on a contract. And then the company, and I think this was something done by the Obama administration, but I could be wrong, is they were trying to encourage companies to hire on contingent workers as actual staff. That way you don't have QA people just being contingent workers for 5 or 6 years, but not getting any benefits. So after 2 years as a QA worker, they would not make them full-time employees, and then just not, like, they would just make them take unemployment for 3 months and then hire them back as a contingent worker, because that's the amount of time you had to have between contracts.
That's what my job says they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Save a lot of
So,
money that way.
yeah, so you save a lot of money.
And then no one will have rights ever. Not rights. No one will have benefits ever, I mean to say. And
Yeah.
then everyone
Same
will just be
thing.
screwed and indebted, and God,
And-
I hate it here.
So, are you a contingent worker?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You know when my 2-year anniversary is?
April. Zoe.
It's in March.
Zoe,
Hooray!
I'm going to beat you. Sorry. There's a cat, and she's like crawling behind the plants.
Don't beat your cat, Nathan.
Why
I
is your
insist.
answer to everything to hit it, Nathan?
I was raised in a poor environment. I'm not going to hit the cat. So anyway,
Without
when
muting
was
your mic first.
when was your anniversary?
It's in March. I don't know for sure the date, but yeah, if they don't convert me
HR
within the
does.
next yeah, if they don't convert me within a month, I may be unemployed.
You might want to email your boss there. So now this could be just a Sony thing. It might be that they could hire you on for longer. But I know that's what was happening with Sony.
So I worked at another place that made very heavy use of contingent workers to just kind of it was because it's easier for companies to bring in contingent workers and then let them go if they need to. There's a lot less red tape, a lot less money has to change hands and all that. So that to make the workforce more flexible, this company would use a lot of contingent workers on their service desk. And that was something that was at least said quite often. Like, I still don't know if this is like actually a law or not.
Yeah.
But it's always been said everywhere that I'm aware of that you can't have somebody who is a contractor working for you for more than 2 years as a contractor. Beyond that point, you have to hire them or you have to cut them. That doesn't make any sense to me, but I'm assuming that if it isn't a legal thing, then it is some workaround to a different legal thing.
Yeah, I think it has to do. I think the Obama administration tried to implement things to encourage employers to hire on their employees full time, but it kind of backfired, and now they're just letting them go. And after 2 years, because Facebook does the same thing. When I was there, I was only there for 7 or 8 months, but I knew somebody who was he was like the number one every single month with getting tickets done, and they wouldn't hire him full time. And my boss, my manager, literally told me that I wasn't going to get hired full time because they were letting my contract end. And so he was just like, don't do work. And I was like, what? And he was like come to work, sign in, do some cases, but if you're watching YouTube and taking like 15 or 20 minutes between cases, I don't care. They're not going to hire you. And I was like, all right. And with the other guy, the one who was doing really, really well and getting, like 20 or 30 cases done a day, my boss was like, dude, don't kill yourself. You're not getting the full-time job. It's not my fault. Like, I went to bat for you, but Facebook sucks and won't hire you. So just stop doing so many tickets. And I was like, at least my supervisor was honest. But some places will just kind of string you along and be like, well, maybe we'll talk about it in a month, or we'll talk about it when we're closer to the contract ending, and then Just be like, oh nope, you're gone in 2 weeks. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what my place is doing to me
Nah,
right now.
nah.
So that's cool.
If they
Yeah.
give you 2 weeks, I think you're pretty damn lucky.
Yeah.
To be fair, when I got let go from Sony, they gave me like a month. They told me like a month early, like, hey, we're not going to extend your contract or anything.
You do
But-
seem to, at least in a lot of cases, get lucky that you tend to work with individual employees who are pretty chill, though.
Yeah. All of my managers and supervisors have been pretty cool, except for at one of my places. But even there, my system admin, who I worked most closely with, she's the one who got me my current job. She left that place, and then like literally a week after, I was told that I wasn't going to be able to get or be made full time at Facebook. My manager or my system admin contacted me, and she's like, "Hey, we have an open position, and everybody who's applying sucks. Do you want to apply?" And I was like, well, I just found out that I'm losing my job, so yeah, that sounds great." So I've gotten pretty lucky with that. But hopefully this works out well for the QA testers, and so they can be made full time. One last story. I worked with a guy who used to work at Gearbox. And apparently Gearbox Studios treats all of their QA people like second-class citizens.
What a surprise.
Yeah, to the point where the QA people don't get to go to the company Christmas party.
Wow.
However, they have to set up the company Christmas party.
Oh.
And so they get their own Christmas party with like, they like buy their own keg of beer and then just have it in the QA area. Yeah.
It's incredibly dystopian.
It's awful. Anyway, we're going to move on. This is definitely technology and game related. From Ars Technica. Ivermectin fails another COVID trial as study links used to GOP politics. So, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And it's going like we could go.
The study's result is, yeah, it turns out the only people who use this are just stupid fucking Republicans.
Yep. Yeah, it doesn't work. Like, it works for what it's made for, and I don't know what that is, but it doesn't work.
Horse diseases.
Well, yes, they have, but they do have a human version of ivermectin.
Yeah,
that
if
works
you have
in some
worms.
things. Yeah, but again, it doesn't work for COVID because it's a different fucking disease.
Because it's not a goddamn worm.
Yeah, and I don't know why. Like, when Joe Rogan did his podcast. We're on Spotify, by the way. Just want y'all to know that we're on Spotify. We're gonna talk shit about Joe Rogan for a second. Joe Rogan went and he was like defending using ivermectin. And he's like, well, when I got sick with COVID, CNN was on there saying I was using horse medicine, but I was using the human version, which he was using the human version. And my thing was, okay, cool, but why the fuck didn't you just get the vaccine? Or use the drugs that have been approved for COVID? Why did you go to this random drug that we know doesn't work for COVID?
Whenever he had COVID, he posted, I think, on Instagram that he was using ivermectin and the fucking like experimental fucking stem cell antibody bullshit.
Yeah.
And like 3 other treatments. And like I don't know, I got the impression that he was just bullshitting and was just like, I'm using every fucking treatment that I can think of off the top of my head right now because I'm fucking Joe Rogan and my entire life is about being as inflammatory as possible to as many people as possible.
Yeah, I don't know. And so my thing with it was, why go, and I'm gonna use ivermectin, which is not something that's been tested for working for COVID. I'm gonna throw all of these other things at it, but yet the one thing that could have helped prevent it or ease the side effects, he refused to do, which was get a vaccine.
But that's experimental.
But
I don't want to inject some experimental thing into my veins. It could make my DNA change, and I'd become a mutant zombie, and I might have a bunch of side effects that I don't want.
Know what
That's
might
not.
happen? Might turn me into a chimpanzee. I might rip your fucking face off.
Yeah.
Which is
So
is something that he says a lot.
So I just want to read the last bit of this article from Ars Technica. It says, not the first time. While some early clinical work had suggested ivermectin may be effective for treating COVID-19, experts have since noted methodological weaknesses in those studies. Moreover, the findings in the Malaysian trial echo two other randomized clinical trials in Colombia and Argentina. These trials also found no benefits to using ivermectin to improve COVID-19 symptoms or reduce hospitalization rates. Overall, the authors of the Malaysian trial conclude that their randomized clinical trial of high-risk patients with mild to moderate COVID-19 ivermectin treatment during early illness did not prevent progression to severe disease. So it doesn't fucking work.
But what if in reality the World Health Organization is just trying to suss out those other studies that said that it was working, and they're trying to boost these fake studies that are false flags and are really just trying to shut down people treating their own illnesses the way that they want to.
What I really think should happen is that we should have Joe Rogan inject the Nvidia GPU hash rate unlocker into his computer.
Boo.
Boo! I tried. Okay.
I was hoping that you'd say like inject it into his skin.
No, I don't want to get him a Trojan. So there was we're moving on to the next story. That was my segue there. There was a supposed Nvidia GPU hash rate unlocker. It came out that basically they were like, hey, we have a hash rate unlocker because some of our chips, I think, what was it, 3060? Was that the one that came out with lower hash rate for like Bitcoin and Ethereum mining?
Well, so Nvidia put out new BIOS for all their 30 series cards that limited their hash rates whenever it came to Ethereum mining.
Yeah.
So all the cards that they started shipping, I think you're right that it started with the 3060, but all their new cards that they've been shipping since manufacturing the 3060 have had the light hash rate BIOS.
Yeah, because I think mine is fine because it has the old. Because I got the like first run of the 3070.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to do it, I could waste money. But
You have to like roll
Ethereum
back
doing
your
right now?
drivers. I think.
it's doing all right.
Wait, what?
How is Ethereum
I
doing?
heard it. I heard it wasn't doing so well.
I mean, it's nothing's doing well right now. I think there are reasons for that, but like Doge is down, Bitcoin is down to 37, where it had a high of 68 or something like that. 68,000. I just wanted you to say that. So it's down to 37,000. And then Ethereum is down to 2.6 thousand. Where its all-time high was around 4,700. So it's about half of what it was.
Does this mean my NFT is losing value?
Yeah, your
Yep.
NFTs are losing value. So they came out with these light hash rate or Nvidia LHR graphics cards, and they've done some things so that they can get it up to like 70 to 75% of
Nathan,
the
you got a really
normal
squeaky
hash rate.
door in the background.
I got
They
a really
install a cat into every GPU.
yeah.
When it starts processing too much, it gets swatted at.
Her mom, my girlfriend, shut the door, and I'm not paying attention to her, and so she's just whining at the bedroom door. That's what's happening.
Pay attention to the cat.
I know. So
Put it on your
sad.
lap and talk about technology like a good evil mastermind.
So, the light hash rate cards came out. People got it up to about 70 to 75% of the normal Ethereum hashing. I don't know what it's called, but a hash rate
Hash rate.
Yeah. And they came out with something that was like, aha, we have the full unlocker is going to come out. We're going to unlock 125% performance. It'll be even better than before. And turns out it was just malware. A bunch of malware.
That tracks.
And this is from TechSpot. It says, earlier this week, a program was making the rounds that supposedly helped crypto miners get around the limitations of the Nvidia LHR graphics cards. It sounded unsafe to begin with, but now it looks like the whole thing was just a malware scam. When WCCF Tech investigated the Nvidia RTX Lite hash rate BIOS V2 unlocker this week, it turned out to be filled with malware. Video cards later noted that the malware connects to a remote server, and then Tom's Hardware reported that the unlocker doesn't uncap the hash rate, but instead infects PowerShell.
Fucking.
Yeah.
This is on the same level as people who like Google PS4 emulator and then actually download any of the things that come up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how fucking stupid do you have to be to go, oh yeah, I'm just gonna install this software and not look into it at all. And sure, it'll bypass Nvidia's bullshit. Definitely. I just need to make my cryptos.
If we've said it once, we've said it 100 times. You can't just trust random things on the internet like this.
I remember there was a 3DS emulator right when the 3DS came out that was just malware. It was one of those things. You go to download it, and I looked at a YouTube video, but it was one of those things where you'd go to download it and be like, fill out these surveys, and after you fill out these surveys, then you'll be able to go to your download, and then it would just never get to the download.
Oh yeah, and that's the nice ones. Like
those
are the ones where it's like, oh, okay, this is obviously a scam.
Mm-hmm.
The really good ones in my mind are the ones where it's like, yeah, here, just download this zip file, and then it's an executable, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe it's one of those zip files where you open the executable and then it unpacks itself because I'm an idiot, and then you run it, and then the whole thing is just malware.
Yeah,
like,
and that's what this is, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and that is what this is. I guarantee you that, because supposedly there was like a GitHub page. Yeah, there was a GitHub page. I guarantee you that it had no actual code, and it was just an exe file on a GitHub repository.
Yeah.
But
now,
like,
to be fair, I could definitely see one of these hash rate unlockers being a real thing that actually works.
Yeah, so that's the other thing too, is that yes, this could definitely exist. I would be surprised if it didn't exist in some capacity, but no one's going to give it out for free.
No.
Are you shitting me? You get a bonus 25% hash rate over everyone else who has a graphics card right now, and you're not just going to hand that out. You're either going to charge money for it or you're going to keep it for yourself.
I would sell it for 1 Bitcoin per card. 1 Bitcoin. No, actually, this would, like, I would go to the big crypto miners and be like, how much can I get? You have 100 cards. Think about what a 25% performance boost would be.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how much money are you wanting to, how many millions of dollars do you want? Or do you want to give me? That's what I would do. And that's, I mean, honestly, I would be surprised if somebody didn't already do that. And the big miners have just kept it under the rug and haven't actually told anybody about it.
Right, because like, why would you tell anyone about that? You wouldn't.
Yep. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about some Evo. Does anybody here actually watch Evo?
I don't watch it live. I wait. I have friends who are like really into fighting games, and I wait for them to post clips because I do like watching people play fighting games at super high level.
Yeah,
even if it's something like Smash.
John, he's really into fighting games, right?
No, Tyler is.
Oh, it's Tyler. Okay.
Yeah.
Get it right. Jeez.
Well, but apparently, they're not having Super Smash Brothers at Evo this year. And from what I understand, is it because I didn't actually read through all this article, but is it because they've been doing Evo online and the online connectivity for Smash Brothers sucks dick?
I don't know. So I know that they did do Smash online at one point. There was that it was either last year or the year before they did do Smash online. But yeah, it was really bad. So that could be why. I'm hoping that the real reason, like I don't really, I don't think it actually says. It just says that it's not going to be part of the event.
There's some
But
speculation here at the bottom, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
I might be talking about the speculation. Is it because Nintendo has been so shitty about them showcasing Melee and specifically Project M?
Well, yes, but also in March 2021, Evo got bought by Sony.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, that could be it.
That would make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. So
Which is
that might
shitty
be part of it.
because is Smash not like the best-selling fighting game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like now the thing about that though is that like most people who play Smash at Evo play Melee, and
Right.
specifically Project M, which I think is actually Brawl, but it's Brawl that's been modded the fuck out to turn it into Project or into Melee. But in either case, like they don't play Ultimate. There are people who do play Ultimate, but like for
That's
the
not
most
where the
part,
tournament scene is.
yeah, that's not
Yeah.
where the tournament scene has ever been. So I was assuming that if it was anything, it would be that. But also, if they're owned by Sony now, well, why would Sony want to showcase a Nintendo first party game
Yeah.
at their conference?
So we'll see what happens, but apparently no more Super Smash Brothers. They can replace it with Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. Huh? Huh? It's a
No,
fighting game. It's
they'll
not bad. I played it. It's all
they'll
right.
just
I
they'll
don't
play King of Fighters 25.
probably. Are they doing what was it? Fighter Z? That's
I
the
said
big
20.
The
I
Dragon
meant
Ball
15.
one?
Yeah. Fighter Z has had a huge. Pretty much everything that Arxis puts out has been at Evo
Yeah.
for a while because Arxis just makes really fucking good fighting games.
Yeah, there's
Um,
no shortage of fighting games that can be showcased there. It does kind of suck that Super Smash Brothers won't be there, but I mean, I don't watch anything from Evo, so I don't really care. But we're gonna move
And
on.
to be honest, like the Smash scene has its own influencers and whatnot.
Yeah,
Like they can kind of do their own thing. I don't think they need Evo, to be honest.
probably
Not like it's a
not.
game that's hurting for representation.
Right.
Yeah. And we're gonna move on to our last story. HP and Lenovo Chromebooks are expected to have Steam support soon.
Huh.
So that's weird. This is from Ars Technica. HP, Lenovo, Acer, and Asus are expected to be among the first companies to release a gaming Chromebook. Code change in the Chromium Garrets suggests that vendors are working on Chrome OS devices that will support Steam. In January 2020, Google said it would bring Steam to Chromebooks, and the plan may be starting to take shape. 9 to 5 Google spotted a code change on Saturday showing a list of what appears to be Chromebook models that will support Steam. And then it goes through, 5 Asus Chromebooks, an HP Chromebook, and a Lenovo, unknown Chromebook from Lenovo. Not going through all the model numbers. When asked about the report, Acer told Ars Technica that it'd need to defer to Google on the minimum requirements / plans for Steam on Chrome. And the expected minimum specs are down below, but I wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on this. A, why? And B, do you think it would work?
I mean, I guess maybe with the push that Valve is making with the Steam Deck to get more and more games running on Linux, and considering that Chrome OS is a Linux distribution, I guess I get that.
I guess.
Like it'll work, yeah, sure. And this
Yeah.
is kind of cutting out the middleman so that you don't have to root your Chromebook to run Steam on it. But like, what's the point?
My thing is most of the people who are using Chromebooks, the reason they get a Chromebook is because they go to the Best Buy and they're like, well, I want something that can get online and check my email and watch YouTubes. And I have $100 and I can do that with the Chromebook. And that's it.
like, and it's weird because like there are Chromebooks that cost hundreds or thousands of dollars.
I think I told
And
you. I think I told you when I worked at Facebook. I put in like, okay, I want a Windows laptop. I'm whatever. I want a Windows laptop because I'm more comfortable with those, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then I got an email like 2 days before I was supposed to start, and they're like, "Oh, we fucked up. We sent you the wrong laptop. We'll have to send you up. We're getting another one ready, and we'll send that one to you." So they sent me the first laptop that showed up was a Pixelbook.
Yeah.
The $1,000 Chromebook. And I was like, this is great. Weird. And I told my manager, and he's like, we don't use Chromebooks. Why would they send you that? That makes zero sense.
They must come direct from the manufacturer with the image cooked on them or something like that.
I have no idea.
And that's the thing is with Chromebooks, when you deploy them, like you can connect them to a deployment server to do all the post configuring, but like out of the box they work like any other Chromebook right out of the box.
Yeah.
And then you have to manually set them to then pull all the configuration shit from your own server.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is really weird that they would do that. But
Yeah.
I don't get who the fuck's buying these Chromebooks. What do you need an i5 and a Chromebook for?
So
my grandma is still using one with a Pentium.
And does it work fine?
It's a laptop. Like
okay.
that it uses Chrome. Like that's like it works. It opens the Facebooks. It goes to the YouTubes. She can listen to Spotify. What else do you need?
She can listen to the Reetin Entertainment.
Soon she'll be able to play Counter-Strike as well.
Yeah. So the expected minimum specifications. It appears Chromebooks will require some pretty beefy specs to run Steam. Currently, the expected minimum specs include an Intel 11th Gen i5 CPU, 8 gigs of RAM, and that's it. As noted by 9to5 Google, there may be other Chromebooks added to the list down the line, especially since we have yet to hear official confirmation from Google, Steam, or any laptop companies. I'm trying to see. Interesting, there's no detail on ARM-based chips, although there are no Chromebooks with dedicated Nvidia GPUs. They noted Chromium Garrett contributions from Nvidia employees said it would be used exclusively by the virtual machine that will be used by Steam. Okay.
So they're going to be developing SoCs or Chromebooks that will have a dedicated Nvidia GPU, and they'll be doing PCI pass-through into that VM so that it can utilize that without Chrome OS bogging it down.
The company has promised to bring capabilities like ray tracing and NVIDIA's DLSS to ARM-based chips, and has demoed such features working on the MediaTek Companio 1200 chip expected to land in Chromebooks. Since we're talking about the first Chrome OS devices with dedicated Nvidia graphics cards, we'd expect those gaming Chromebooks to command a higher price tag too.
Gaming Chromebook.
So weird to say, huh?
Such an oxymoron.
Acer's Chromebook 515 currently stands at $650, while the Asus Chromebook Flip CX5 can be found for $830. Just rolls off the tongue. With an i5 HP C640G2 Chromebook, starts at $489, but goes up to $1,254 for an i5.
A lot of money for a Chromebook.
Just buy a normal fucking laptop at that point.
Buy two Steam Decks.
Like, I don't get it. This seems to me to kind of go against everything that Chromebooks are supposed to stand for, you know? Like, I always saw them as a cheap gateway to the internet. Like, you need something that's a little bit more than just a tablet. So, like, you want something that has a dedicated keyboard, and sure, it has a trackpad, because why wouldn't it have a trackpad? You know, you get a couple of USB ports so you can plug a flash drive in it. Like, if anything, it's almost like a really, well, you know what it is? It's like the fucking Surface laptop. Like, except it doesn't run Windows. It just runs Chrome OS. But like, because it runs Chrome OS, the idea is supposed to be that you can have it be a relatively low spec machine and therefore be really fucking cheap. Like, putting an ARM SoC into a Chromebook makes complete sense, because all they're supposed to run are browser applications and Android applications. Because like, Android apps have been on Chromebooks for years now, and that, sure, why not? Like,
and now they're coming to Windows PCs.
Like, that is
Windows 11.
Really, that is really, weird.
This isn't something that we had planned, but I am going to ask you. You mentioned that Chromebooks have had Android apps included for a while. They just released the beta for Android on Windows 11.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah, I can't use it.
Why not?
You have to have Ryzen 3000.
Really?
I think.
Oh.
For no reason, really, no reason at all.
So you need to get a new processor.
Well, I either need to do that or wait for somebody else to find a way to bypass that requirement. Because I had installed because it's not even like the beta at this point. Like, that was part of this last Windows update, was adding that, like, the Amazon App Store is on the Windows Store.
Right.
But I had the beta software installed on my computer, and some things worked and other things didn't. And the main thing that I wanted, which was Azure Lane, did not work. It would get to the loading screen and then just sit there forever. It almost kind of looked like there wasn't hardware acceleration in the Android virtual machine, which is weird. But yeah, I, as of right now, don't see the value in it.
Yeah, me neither.
Sorry, go on. I do have a compounding thought to that. It's really weird that Android, at least from my experience, developing on Android, you kind of need to specifically target older builds, I mean to say. If you want anyone to be able to use your device, just because that's the nature of Android. They're interested more in portability than being most up to date with features. But then they're turning around and saying, oh, but if you want to use this, you need to have I have a Surface 7, and that uses a i7. I wouldn't be able to even use this yet, and that's pretty damn new still.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunate.
Anyway, yeah, it is. Anyway, we'll talk about that later once Aroa finds out that hack in the next week and a half. I want to thank you for being here, Connor.
I guess it's go time. Goodbye, everyone.
It's go time. It's just goodbye time.
Nathan's got places to go.
I do. And thank you for being here, Aroa.
Yep, I was here. I can't wait for my Steam Deck.
Yeah, we'll be here next week talking about more video games and
Steam Decks.
and Steam Decks. Goodbye.
We'll have a
Bye.
better intro next week. No, we won't.